The vanishing voice on the baby monitor. It was supposed to be the happiest time of their lives. Sarah and Daniel had just moved into a quiet suburban home with their newborn daughter, Emily. The house wasn't perfect. Old creaky floors, faded wallpaper, and that faint smell of dust that seemed to linger no matter how much they cleaned, but it was theirs. The first week went smoothly. They spent their evenings together in the living room, Emily sleeping peacefully upstairs in her crib. They had bought a high-tech baby monitor to keep an eye on her. The device came with night vision, motion sensors, and even a two-way microphone. One Thursday night, Sarah was half asleep on the couch when a faint crackling sound drifted from the monitor on the coffee table. She sat up, blinking, and leaned closer. It wasn't static. It was whispering. At first, she thought maybe it was interference from another house's device, or maybe a neighbor's radio bleeding into the frequency. But the voice grew sharper. It wasn't random muttering. It was calling a name. Illy. Sarah froze. The voice was soft, almost sing-song, like a lullaby, but it was wrong. The syllables dragged too long, stretching the baby's name into something eerie. She bolted upright and rushed upstairs. Emily was fast asleep in her crib, breathing gently, her tiny fists curled. Nothing unusual. Sarah convinced herself it was just a glitch and went back downstairs. But then the next night it happened again. This time, Daniel was the one who heard it. The monitor crackled, and that same distorted voice slipped through. Illy. Daniel frowned, adjusting the monitor, and then something new came through. His blood ran cold. The whisper stretched his name into a low growl. He stared at the screen. The monitor's night vision showed Emily in her crib, asleep as usual. But for a second, just a second, there was movement in the corner of the room. A flicker of something tall, pale, leaning close to the crib. Daniel rushed upstairs, his heart pounding. But when he got there, the room was empty. The days passed, and the voices didn't stop. Each night, they grew clearer. Sometimes it sounded like multiple whispers, overlapping, as if a crowd was standing just out of sight. Other times, the monitor picked up sounds of humming, like someone rocking Emily to sleep. Sarah was on the verge of tears every evening. Daniel started sleeping with the monitor off, insisting it was faulty, but Sarah couldn't. She needed to know her baby was safe. One stormy night, everything escalated. At 3 a.m., Sarah was jolted awake by a sound that made her stomach twist. Through the monitor came the sound of Emily crying, but layered underneath was laughter. A deep, guttural laugh. Sarah grabbed the monitor, and what she saw made her scream. The screen showed Emily's crib, but Emily wasn't alone. A figure was standing over her, a woman, thin and gaunt, her hair hanging in long black strands. Her face blurred as if the camera refused to focus. She was leaning down, her long hands reaching into the crib. Sarah and Daniel sprinted upstairs. Daniel threw open the door only to find Emily sleeping peacefully, alone. No woman, no intruder, nothing. But when Sarah checked the monitor again, the figure was still there, standing in the room with them, staring directly into the camera. Her mouth stretched into a wide smile, and then static. The monitor went dark. From that night forward, Sarah refused to sleep in their bedroom. She brought Emily's crib into the living room, terrified of leaving her alone upstairs. Daniel tried to contact the company that made the monitor, but they claimed nothing was wrong with the device. One evening, while Sarah dozed on the couch, she woke to hear whispering again. Not from the monitor, from behind her. She turned slowly. There, standing in the dim light of the living room, was the same gaunt woman from the monitor, her face now clear, her hollow eyes locked on Sarah. She was holding Emily in her arms. Sarah screamed, and the figure vanished. Emily was still in her crib, unharmed. But Sarah swears to this day that for just 1 second, she saw Emily's tiny hand clutching the woman's hair. They moved out of the house 2 weeks later. They never brought the baby monitor with them. But sometimes in the quiet of the night, Sarah swears she still hears it, that faint, crackling whisper calling her name. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the story, please leave a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any new stories. Until next time.